we are looking at parts that are fully encapsulated in rust, which means this thing is going to be a bear to get apart. What we're trying to do is get to these ball joints. And it's funny, if you go online and you try and figure out how to do this, you'll see some people doing some really stupid stuff. It's pretty entertaining.
Oh, dude, it's like a workout. They're just pounding that stuff. It could take hours, right? But now with this, we can do the job in a lot less time, and it's a lot easier. It's this whole system that we got from Wallmek Tools.
You know, this is the hub and bearing popper, and then over here we've got the ball joint snapper. And the whole idea is you've got the right tools to do the job the right way without damaging the rest of the suspension, trying to get this stuff out of the way. And it's universal, so you can change the jaws on here, and now you can work on a light-duty truck, a heavy truck, or a passenger car.
So you mentioned the universal part, which is great. So all the vehicles, like you said, you just swap out these legs. Now this one's universal as well, too, because you can reconfigure these right here or insert the collar, and that way on any of the ball joints, no matter how small the clearance is, you can sneak it in there and just open it up nice and easy. And like with this, you're not ripping the bearing up and all that. So like you said, you're keeping those internal parts good.
Time to go to work. What do you say?
I like it. We got the plate mounted. The whole puller assembly is all mounted up as well. And you take a look at this, you can kind of adjust everything.
Yeah,
right?
you just want to make sure it's nice and square and centered. So this, when you pull, it pulls nice and centered off. And the way it's going to pull is with this big bad boy right here, 18 tons of power. What we're hooking up right now to is the air over hydraulic pump. That's going to pressurize it, and that's going to do all the dirty work. There's no banging, there's no clanging, there's no busted knuckles or tore up bearings inside of this thing. It should come off in one clean piece.
Dude, I am hooked up. I am locked in.
You ready to rock?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'll do the heavy lifting this time.
What do I think I'm going to have to do the heavy lifting?
Look at that.
You know?
I mean, come on. That was like a minute.
Dude, that was quick. Easy.
You got that?
Yeah, dude, we're not even sweating.
Look at that.
We're not even really dirty. Hey, look at the bug coming out. Oh,
Everything
sorry,
is
buddy.
intact.
Look at that. Even the roach.
Oh, look at that. That's for you. You keep that.
Yeah, thanks.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's right on your hand.
Don't
It's
worry.
going to bite you.
It's not like I can't
Trust me, the
swat
last
it.
time I had a bug bite me on set, it didn't work out well for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit that down.
It was a week in the hospital.
Now we can turn our attention over here to this ball joint. So I got the nut loosened up, and I ran that all the way off, and I put it back on just a couple threads, enough to catch it, so that when I do break this thing loose, it doesn't go swinging down, because that is a heavy assembly right there, and we don't want it swinging out of control. Now, traditionally, you would see guys just start hammering on this thing, right about here with a heavy hammer, right? And as long as this is steel, you can get away with that. Of course, you always run the risk of hitting the bolt, which would cause you some problems. But if this was aluminum, you don't want to be pounding on that because you're going to ruin the whole piece. Well, that is where this comes in. It's the ball joint snapper, also from Wallmek Tools. And take a look at this. This is going to make the job nice and easy. So you got a couple different sizes here, right? You can do the bigger size, smaller size. We're going with the bigger. Boom, we're going to slide that. Oh, let me turn that. Slide that right in there like that. Get the top over it, and you want to hold on to that from the top. Now I can just start putting the pressure to it. Boom, and done. Just that easy. No pounding, no sweat, no hard work. Now, in the event that this could not get the job done, you can still put the hammer to it, but you want to put the hammer right here to the top, all right? Not so much here or anywhere else, right there, and you can give it a little bit of extra convincing if you have to. All right, that's enough for now. We need to go to break. When we come back, we'll keep working on this Dodge. All right, man. Check this out, B.
You know, I've never seen this happen before.
You know what I do? What's that?
This new toy we've got.
I make your life easier.
Usually I'm swinging the big hammer. That's what I do.
That's what I'm here to do. You're the big swinger. Let's see. All right. Boom. Look at that, dude. It's just that easy. Look at that. Boom.
That was almost like too easy. I like that.
You didn't even have to sweat or anything. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cards and letters addressed to me directly. Don't worry about that. There we go. I knew we could do it.
There you go. That's teamwork. Makes the dream work, babe. So we are continuing to work on our buddy's Diesel Baby. This was his first project truck that he recently reacquired, and he didn't get it back in the shape that he left it in, but that's okay. He wants us to help him put this thing back to life. Now, one of the issues he's had with it is the steering since he got it back. There's a bit of a play in it. He said there's some death wobble, and usually that goes back to worn out steering components and suspension parts. So what we're going to do is replace everything. A lot of people go ahead and put on steering stabilizers, and what that really does, it just masks the problem. So what we want to do is change out these ball joints, and when we got everything apart, you know what, we're going to clean it up and make it look good too. So these steering knuckles, I'll hit it with a sandblaster, we'll paint them up, put it on with a bunch of fresh new components. This thing should steer a whole lot better.
Bruno has the knuckles over there in the corner. He's going to clean them up and make them look beautiful. Now, in the meantime, we'll come up over here, and the name of the game is to try to separate the axle from the bearing. Now, this is a point where a lot of people will put it in the vise, kind of like it is, but you won't see all this, right? And they'll just start pounding on the end of this axle. And the problem with that is you can actually kind of mushroom the tip of that axle, which is bad. If you do that, then you got to get it remachined, or you can close up that hole where the kingpin slides through. That's a problem. Some guys will heat it up as well. And as that metal gets hot, all you're doing there is making it weaker. So this is a much, much better method to do that. We've got nice, even strength. I got all the brackets on here. Everything's mounted. And I'm about to put the power of this cylinder to work. Now, this has got 18 tons of power. That's pretty awesome, and that should just pop it right off. But in case it doesn't, we've got this punching socket right here, and that just screws right into the end. So if the air doesn't do the job, and if I can get it threaded, there we go, nice and easy. Now, you can take a big hammer to this right here on the end, and that'll go right through the middle, right through the middle of that cylinder, and it will actually give you 3.5 times the power. So you're looking at 60 tons of power by swinging the big old hammer on that thing. So we'll see if we need that. All right. Enough talking. Let's get to separating. Nothing to it. See, look at that. That's going to come off. I didn't even have to use the hammer, but that made life a lot easier.
Hey, I was watching you use that ball joint snapper, and like a boss, mind you, and it triggered something in me. I'm like, I got a great idea. Why don't we use it instead of pounding on this to get the stud out that's all stripped? Use this.
When I inspire you,
Right?
I find it inspiring.
Well, I just
You
love
know?
cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It gives us a reason to play with this thing.
It does, dude. Boom. I heard it, dude. Popped right out.
You hear that?
I'll bet you, in fact, I know for a fact, you can just reconfigure this, flip these things over, put the collar in, and you can press them right back in, too.
Dude, I love that.
So
It's
out
genius.
and in. You know what's cool about that is if you live in an area where there's a lot of salt, right? There's salt in the roads, and you got an old vehicle, it's getting salt on it all the time, and things are much more corroded than the stuff we were working on today. It's murder getting that stuff apart, and this is going to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah,
so.
you know, speaking of salt, there's something I want to show you on the other side here real quick. I was taking it apart. I wanted to stop short and let you know what I'm talking about.
To keep me up to speed,
All right, cool.
dude. Keep me up to speed.